Hey students, in today's video I'm going to show you how to create an income statement from scratch. Let's get into it. Okay, so in today's video I'm going to show you how to create an income statement. I'm going to move my video over so that it doesn't block anything. Now, here we have an adjusted trial balance. Usually there's a lot of steps before you get to this point, but for this series, I'm going to go ahead and show you how to create an income statement, a balance sheet, and a cash flow statement. And we're just going to start at this point here with an adjusted trial balance. So as you see, debits have to equal credits. And so at the bottom here, you can see this total number is the same. Now on the left side here, these are all our accounts, and we kind of go through here with all of our current assets. Then we have a property, plant, and equipment. We got some liabilities, some equity, and then this is all the stuff that goes on our income statement. So I'm going to show you here how to create an income statement. We're going to use these numbers. So let's go ahead and jump over here to our income statement. And so our tax rate is going to be 10%. And we're just going to create this from scratch here. And so we're going to start on the left side. And we're going to go ahead and type in the first thing that goes on every single income statement, which is sales revenue. Sales revenue is the first thing that goes on your income statement. Sales revenue is what you earn from making sales through products and services. So let's go ahead and plug this in. So we know right over here, if we go ahead and address it, looks like it's going to be $26,590. So since we're in Excel here, I can go ahead and do equals and jump right over to this tab and then click on your sales number and hit enter. And it brings that number over, $26,590. Now the next thing that goes on your income statement is the biggest expense, which is cost of goods sold if you're a manufacturing business, or cost of services sold if you're a service-based business. So in this example, we're just going to go ahead and assume it's a manufacturing business. So let's go ahead and type in cost of goods sold. And over here, there it is, $12,000. So let's go ahead and plug that in, and let me finish off this word here. So equals, let's move it over. Do $12,000. And what I'm going to do up here, I'm going to multiply this times -1 to make it a negative number, because expenses are negative. So let's just go ahead and do that. And now it's going to bring it over and makes it a negative 12,000. Now, what comes after our cost of goods sold? We subtract cost of goods sold from sales revenue, and we get to something called gross profit. Gross profit, when you think of gross profit, think of the profit before you have to deduct everything else. That's why they call it gross. It's it doesn't mean gross like disgusting, but it means that it's before you deduct additional expenses. So I'm going to go ahead and make this all the same size. So gross profit is there. It's just going to be the difference. So we're going to do equals, and this number here plus this number. So now we get gross profit, which is after we deducted cost of goods sold. Now the next thing we're going to have is our operating expenses. These are the expenses that we have in a business that are related to the daily operations of that business. So I'm going to go ahead and title it here. I'll just copy this down. Okay. So under this, we're going to have a few different expenses. We go back over here and look. We have our wages expense, utilities, depreciation, and insurance. Now, interest is not actually going to apply here to operating expenses. I'll show you what that is in a sec. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to copy these down here. These are all of our operating expenses. So if I plug in, there we go. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to make sure these are all negative. So what I'm going to do, let me see here. So I'll do this. I'll say, okay, so I went ahead and paused the video and I just went ahead and made them all negative just to save y'all some time. But then now what we're going to do, these are all of our operating expenses. So we're going to go ahead and add these up, and we're going to title it total operating expenses. So let's go ahead and add that in here. Total operating expenses. Now, it's just going to be the sum here. So let me make sure I got a space. So there we go. Let's just sum these up. That's it. Next, after we're going to go ahead and deduct our operating expenses from our gross profit. So you see this number up here. We're going to subtract this number from this number here. And this is what we're going to be calling our operating income. And let me go ahead and make sure I have a big one down here. There we go. Equals, and we're just going to take this number here and we're going to subtract. Actually, we're just going to add them because it'll end up being deducted. And there you go. It's 8960 is our operating income. Now next we're going to have what we call our non-operating expenses. And there's really only one of them. Take a look. It's going to be our interest expense. That's the only one we have. And what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead actually and just do what I did before. I'm going to copy just this. I'll plug it in here and I'll do equals. It's going to be this number times -1 to make sure it's negative. There we are. And this is going to, now we're going to deduct that from our operating income. It's going to equal what we call our income. And I'll go ahead and make sure it's large as well. This income before income taxes. There we go. And let's go ahead and copy that. Now it's big, and we're going to do equals sum and this number to this number. And there we go, 7990. Now next, we're going to go ahead and now we have our income before income taxes. So I think you can guess what's next, right? We're going to have to go ahead and take out our income tax. And so let's go ahead and do that. Income tax expense is what it's called because we have to get taxed on this income, right? So go ahead and copy that down. And now we're going to do equals. It's going to be this number. And we're going to multiply it times our tax rate, which is right there. And there we go. That's how much income tax we get. And lastly, the big number you've been waiting for, our net income. And the way we get this number is we go ahead and take our income before income taxes and we subtract our income tax expense. And there we go. That is an income statement in a nutshell. We went through, we got our revenue, we brought it over, cost of goods sold, we got our gross profit, went through operating expenses, got our total operating expenses, got our operating income, interest expense, subtracted that to get our income before income taxes. We taxed that amount to get our income tax expense, subtracted that to arrive at our net income. So hopefully that video was helpful. In the next video in this series, I'm going to show you with the same numbers how to create a balance sheet. And I'll go ahead and make sure that's, you can already get a little preview of it there, but it's called a balance sheet. So there you go. Once again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.